the woman who led an army against colonial power. What would you do if strangers came to your land, took your gold, exiled your king, and then demanded the very symbol of your nation's soul? Most men stayed silent, but one woman stood up. And when she did, an empire trembled. This is the story of the woman who led an army against colonial power. And her name was Yaa Asantewaa. Welcome to Echoes and Tales of History by Bright, where we uncover forgotten voices, powerful resistance, and the moments that shaped our world. Today, we travel back to 1900, to the powerful Ashanti Kingdom in present-day Ghana. At the end of the 19th century, the Ashanti Kingdom was one of the most powerful states in West Africa. It was rich in gold, organized, proud, and fiercely protective of its traditions. At the heart of Ashanti identity was a sacred object known as the Golden Stool. This was not just a royal seat. The Ashanti believed the Golden Stool carried the spirit and soul of their nation. It symbolized unity, ancestry, and sovereignty. No king ever sat on it. No outsider was ever allowed to touch it. But then the British Empire arrived. After years of conflict, the British exiled the Ashanti king, Prempa I, hoping that removing him would weaken the kingdom. They thought the Ashanti spirit would break. They were wrong. Then came the ultimate insult. In 1900, the British governor Frederick Hodgson marched into the Ashanti capital of Kumasi. And he demanded something sacred. Not taxes, not land, but the Golden Stool itself. He even suggested that he should sit on it. To the British, it was just a symbol of authority. But to the Ashanti people, it was their identity, their history, their soul. Ashanti chiefs gathered to discuss what to do. They were angry, but they were also afraid. The British had advanced weapons. Their king had already been exiled. Many leaders hesitated. Silence filled the room, until one woman stood up. Her name was Yaa Asantewaa, the Queen Mother of Ijesu. She was not a trained soldier, but she was respected, wise, and fiercely protective of her people. Watching the chiefs hesitate, she finally spoke words that would echo through history. She challenged them. If you, the men of Ashanti, will not fight, then we will. We, the women, will fight. It was not reckless anger. It was a call to courage, a call to dignity, a call to defend their identity. And suddenly, the room changed. Soon after, the War of the Golden Stool began. Yaa Asantewaa was chosen as the war leader. A woman, a grandmother, commanding thousands. She organized the resistance, developed ambush tactics, and mobilized the Ashanti people. Men and women, young and old. Ashanti forces surrounded the British fort in Kumasi. They cut off supply routes, launched surprise attacks, and used their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. For months, British troops were trapped. This wasn't chaos. It was coordinated resistance. News of the rebellion spread quickly. The British were stunned. An African woman was leading one of the most organized uprisings they had faced. But the British Empire was vast and powerful. Reinforcements arrived from other colonies, along with heavy artillery and advanced weapons. Slowly, the tide began to turn. The Ashanti fighters were brave, but they were outgunned. Eventually, British forces broke the siege of Kumasi and regained control. Yaa Asantewaa and several other leaders were captured. They were exiled far from their homeland to the Seychelles Islands in the Indian Ocean. There, Yaa Asantewaa lived the rest of her life, far from the land she had fought to protect. But her spirit remained unbroken. And here is the most powerful part of the story. Even after the war, the Golden Stool was never captured. It was hidden, protected, untouched. The spirit of the Ashanti people survived. The War of 1900 became the last major war bet between the Ashanti Kingdom and the British Empire. Eventually, the region became part of the British colony known as the Gold Coast. But history did not forget. Decades later, the Gold Coast would become Ghana, the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence in 1957. And the story of Yaa Asantewaa would inspire generations. History often celebrates kings and emperors, but rarely do we hear about women who led armies. Even more rarely do we hear about African women who challenged empire. Yaa Asantewaa was not fighting for conquest. She was fighting for identity, for dignity, for the right of her people to define their own future. Her courage reminds us that leadership is not defined by gender, and that sometimes the strongest voices rise from the most unexpected places. Empires rise, empires fall, but courage becomes legend, and the legend of Yaa Asantewaa still echoes today. If this story moved you, and you believe forgotten heroes deserve to be remembered, subscribe to Echoes and Tales of History by Bright. Because history isn't just dates and wars. It's people. It's voices. And some voices refuse to be silenced.